So thank you everyone for joining. We have Katal with me. Katal and me have been working from since another past 14, 15 years, which is good to see. And again, in today's webinar, we'll be talking about various options and study areas or business pathways to New Zealand. Again, we are talking what is on the immigration website primarily, and the study pathways, what our experience is. So I think I'll introduce a bit of myself, who I am, where I am based. So my name is Bharat Chal. I'm based out of Auckland, New Zealand. I'm in this education sector for the last around 2 decades or 20 years nearly. We try to support and update all the students or our partners about what is happening in New Zealand and what are the opportunities available and where we can see the growth areas of students or the partners or the candidates coming to New Zealand. Now, I'll try to answer as much questions. I believe Katal will be taking lead in some of the areas. He will understand, know what is in the local sector for that particular country. So over to you, Katal, about you, and I'll be helpful.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kartal. As a student, my journey started when I was in high school. I studied high school, diploma, foundation, university, all in the overseas, and decided to help more international students like myself how to win time, how to win more money, and how to have a successful study, education, and also a career in overseas. Me and Bharat, throughout the years, we helped hundreds of students to reach their goals. And now we are working with Calışma and RBS together to help even more students from different countries to reach their goals.
Great. So for everyone, guys, who I think what we'll do is, and again, Katal, you're open to talk in the local Turkish language if you want to add some words. But we can see the people are from different countries. So, giving a background, guys, New Zealand, again, the destination is one of the safest destinations to study. Most of the universities are, or all the universities are, in top 500. We have universities in top 100. We have universities in top 200. We have universities in top 300. And at the same time, we have universities in top 400 to 500 also. So there are 8 universities, but at the same time, there are multiple polytechnics or 16 polytechnics, one coming under one brand name. And then we have multiple private providers. So there are multiple options for everyone who are coming to study in New Zealand with a different fee option. Now, I believe a lot of questions will come around the fees, or we'll ask around those questions to answer that, the range of fees going in. Now, if you guys all know where we are in a certain part of Australia. Going around, if we see the number of flights or direct flights going around, we see currently from if say Turkey, Nigeria, or we talk about Gulf countries, that we talk about, there are no direct flights from the GCC region and the African region. They either have to follow through Qatar, or they have to go through Dubai to go to the direct flight, or they have to follow the route from the US side, which is ideally around, if I say around 17 to 18 hours route, which again, it takes a bit of time and energy for everyone. But again, like I said, you are coming to a place which is much different, much better, much safer. Katal, you want to add anything on that?
Absolutely. It's I always describe it as the ideal world. New Zealand is one of the safest countries in the world. It takes 24 hours to get from Turkey to New Zealand, but also the journey is cool. And once you get to New Zealand, it's really, for me, as a person, being in Canada, being in the UK, Australia, I think New Zealand is far better than most of the countries, in my opinion, the safest and most welcoming country in the world.
Great. I think we can see the questions coming in. So again, guys, if you have questions, please you can put into the chat box. We'll be answering it while we're talking. Again, depend upon how the time goes, where we go. Now we'll cover about New Zealand education, where to start and how to start. I have a bigger slide also. But if you see, New Zealand covers international education from a preschool, primary school to the postgraduate or doctor's education. Now, brief again, one of the safest country, again, what I said, we did started work rights for students quite early in the time. we are ranked second as the most peaceful place to live. So there are some positives which you can go and see where we are heading in. Now, all the universities are ranked in top 3% of the universities in the world. We are one of the top country for preparing students for the future and options. Again, universities do offer scholarship. We'll be talking about that too in any case, as we can see the questions coming in. And again, going down for creativity, for introduce pastoral care, New Zealand was kind of one of the first to introduce the pastoral care. Now, if people don't know pastoral care, what it is, it's primarily looking after the students and at the same time the fees. So anybody paying the fees in New Zealand institutions, it's completely safe. Why? Because it's actually controlled by government here. So that's one of the best part in New Zealand. You are not losing any money again if something goes wrong. So, Katal, you want to let me know when you want to jump in? I'm happy to hand over to you. It'll be great if, yeah.
Sure. In terms of universities, New Zealand has got really good diverse universities all around the country. As you can see, the North Island, South Island, both have great universities. As Bharat mentioned at the beginning, they're all in top 500, which is incredible. Auckland University, as many of you would know, is one of the top ranked universities of New Zealand and world. And there's Otago University, which is very good with medical school. And you have Lincoln University, which is incredible with agricultural. And you have Victoria University in Wellington, which is the capital. So many universities, so many options. It's all about what you want to study. And you can always approach us and tell us about your plans, and then we will be leading you accordingly.
Now, going around the slide, which we are beginning, I think we're tagging each other with this slide. So apart from universities, we have a TPOKenga or TAFE options. Now, TAFE, or we call as a polytechnics or ITPs in New Zealand, there are 16 ITPs which are working together as under one brand name called TPOKenga. Ideally, these are institutions which are government funded, but it's a vocational level institution which can offer between level 1 to level 9, or some cases level 10 also. Depend upon which institution and what course you're going in. The fees of universities are a bit higher. Then we have polytechnics which are a bit cheaper. Then we have a private institutions which are further affordable fees options are there. So again, if you see these options coming in, you are always welcome to ask and discuss about which area you want to go in. Now, I think I'll repeat this for a reason only that every age there's a different levels of entry requirement. That this is the primary school requirement. I will go on to the education system, which is again when you start from your home country, you're doing normally bachelor's or postgraduate or master's. Now in New Zealand we call that as a levels. So we have a level 1 to level 10. Now level 1 to 3 are basically certificates which are offered at a schooling level. Level 4 is we call it a pre-diploma or a pre-certificate or a pre-bachelor's level. Level 5 is the first year of diploma is a diploma or a first year of first year of bachelor's. Level 6 is second year of bachelor's or a diploma. Same as level 7 is a graduate diploma or a bachelor's coming around then. Level 8 is a PG diploma. Level 9 is master's, and level 10 is doctorate. Now, why we talk about these levels? Because your offer letter or your qualification will be always discuss about these areas. And again, it'll be good to see that where you're going, how you're going, and what levels you're going in. Katal, you want to add anything on this? Great. Now, this slides go into a bit more detail about which institutions are offering at which level primarily. So if you see, universities normally offer between level 4 to level 10. ITPs offer between level 1 to level 9. Private institution, again, level 1 to level 9 primarily. And then you have schools which are offering in level 1 to level 3. Now, again, I can see the question coming in for the diploma holders can be considered a BSc civil engineering. Yes, you can go for a BSc, but at the same time, you can also apply for a diploma, or you can see that if you can get exemption for your second year or third year if you've done 2-year diploma. Yeah, giving around the IELTS requirement again. Katal, you want to go and continue on that?
In terms of English requirements, it depends on the country and depends on the program that you wish to study. But majority of the countries that students today are joining from, IELTS is the requirement. So if you have an IELTS which is valid for 2 years, just send us your inquiry, and depending on the level of study that you wish to study, we will be advising you accordingly. New Zealand, most institutions also accept TOEFL and PTE as well as IELTS.
Sure. And guys, at the same time, there are English programs again offered. If you are not eligible, there are EAP courses at university which might be helpful for you to go in. So I can ask people to please ask your questions if possible, so that we can answer at the same time. I can see there's only limited questions for now, but again, we'll try to cover as much we can from our end. Now, one of the good part of New Zealand, what is happening is now is the post-study work visas. Now, whatever you're studying in New Zealand, every course may not give you a post-study work visa, but what you can do is that you can follow the areas where the post-study working is available. So most of the bachelors and masters, you have post-study work options. Now, if you're going for a diploma of 1 year, 2 year, which is not in a green list or a skill shortage area, they may not provide you the post-study work options. So what we suggest to every student, please share your CV with us. We will review it. We will come back to you what options are available and where things are going along. Now, going back again, there are options for 1 or 2 year post-study work options. There are options of 3-year post-study work option. The best option is the master's, where for 1 to 2 year of study, you get a 3-year post-study work options. Now, do remember that 3 years post-study option while you're doing masters, you can also bring your family at the same time, and the spouse or a dependent can apply for a full-time work visa. There are multiple areas, so we always recommend please discuss and talk through that, and it'll be helpful. Kartal, over to you. Anything you want to add on this slide?
I just want to maybe add, in terms of post-study work visas, it's quite important for professionals who want to study anything in New Zealand to look for this option. If you want to come with your family, if you want to come with your partner, it's good to have these options. But we'll also talk about the masters and the advantages of coming to New Zealand with your partner.
Sure. So coming around, like I said, there are multiple options in offer. We'll go through the slide. There are diplomas, there are bachelor's vocational options, and again, there are demand of a lot of options and courses. So currently under the green list, which is we call as a skill shortage area, there are 60 occupations which are on the green list. Now, what I'll do is that I'll probably go a brief about New Zealand skilled residence pathways. Now, there are 3 type of options, and I believe when any student or family is coming here, they're looking for either migration options or they're looking for, can I get a job and what are the areas I can get a job in? So what happened is that if you're in New Zealand for a study visa, you have multiple areas to go for a work visa, and at the same time, you can also go for a skilled or a residence pathway. Currently, there are 3 skilled residence pathway areas. One is a skilled migrant pathway, which is SMC category. Other is a green list pathway, which is again a skilled shortage area of New Zealand. And third is the career workforce and transport sector agreement. Now, for most of the students coming, for them, the SMC or skilled migrant resident pathway or a green list pathway are the primary area to go in. Now, this is prime. So I said, guys, if you're there, if you can ask questions, it'll be helpful. We can answer accordingly. Otherwise, we will make sure that we are covering the slides what we want to offer in. So the skilled migrant category or skilled residence pathway, there are points requirements. So New Zealand immigration has actually added a kind of very easier options for the residents. They said if you have 6 points, you can apply for residency. Now, what is the 6 point? How they've done? They actually in October 2023 they revamped their whole immigration system to make it more easier and better, or kind of supportive of students who are coming to study in various areas. So, example, if you're applying for a PhD, now we had one student from Turkey who recently applied for a PhD, came here, got the visa and everything. For PhD, they're giving 6 points. So if you have applied for PhD and you are studying as a PhD candidate, as and when you finish PhD, you'll get a 6 points and you can apply for residence pathway. Or if you get a job which is under the registration category, or example, you are a nurse or you're a doctor, that's the area again you can come for a residence pathway. Now, second option is the master's option, where if you're applying for a master's course in New Zealand, and I'll go in detail also for this because we have, we'll cover up those things at one by one. So in skill, sorry, I'm just moving in the slide. So skill and SMC category is the master's pathway. You get 5 points for your study of masters in New Zealand. Now, because we need 6 points for residence pathway, what you get is that you get a 3-year post-study work right, and in that 3 years, 1 year of minimum, if you can work in a skilled work area or you get a skilled work experience at tier 1 to tier 3, depend upon your wage and all those things, you can apply. You get extra 1 point, and you can apply for residence option. So which means that with post-study options included, you get a 4.5-year visa, and as and when you complete your 6 months, you can apply for study and residence pathway. Now, Katal, you want to add anything on this before I go to the next slide?
No, I think it's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, and the best part of masters is that when you apply for a master course, you are getting your spouse full-time work visa or a dependent visa, we call it, and your kids can study free if they're between age of 5 and 18. So that's one thing which you can see that is actually adding a lot more value and a lot more support for anybody who is going around studying in New Zealand, as the option is a particular family migration or a master's pathway. Now, I did skip green list before, and I'll just want to cover that first. Now, green list is primarily the area where there is a skill shortage. Now, this is we call teaching, we call nursing, we call engineering, we call IT. So there are multiple areas, or even again civil engineering, what we have questioned. So what we do is that in New Zealand, if you're studying any qualification which is relevant to green list outcome, you can apply for residency straightforward, which is in a tier 1 category. But if your job is in tier 2, you have to work for 2 years, and then you can apply for residence pathway. Now, ideally, I can give an example here. Tier 1 nursing, which is if you've done a bachelor of nursing or master of nursing, you get a job, apply for residency. Tier 2 is the teaching, where if you have got a teaching registration, you get a provision registration, and you work for 2 years in that subject, and then you move towards your residence pathway. So we'll go and cover the qualification options in this area. So if you see green list occupation, like civil engineering, chemical, electronic, geotech, construction management, quantity surveying. So there are hundreds of qualifications sitting here, or occupations sitting here, I say. Now, again, a lot of medical options are there. We do see students coming into various areas. It makes easier what you follow and how you follow. But it doesn't mean that other categories don't have a work or to residence option. So we always recommend to everyone, don't just change the qualification or your occupation because you are looking to you're looking for residency. In New Zealand, if you can get a job, there are certain options of your residence pathway too. Now, going around again, skill migrant category, what we talked about is then there is the PG diploma option. If you're studying a postgraduate diploma or bachelor's of honors, you get 4 points. Now, normally you get a 1-year post-study work right. You have to get 2 more points. So what we recommend students, if you're coming for a postgraduate option, which is a PG diploma or a bachelor's of honors, when you do a work for 1 year, your employer can help you to get a 5-year work visa. So again, you need the 2-year work visa in the skilled area. As and when you go complete that, you can apply for residence option. So the PG diploma option is good for people who have less funds to show. Because example, if master's is around $50,000, PG diploma will be around $30,000 or $40,000 per annum. So those are the options which have to be covered in and to discuss in with us while we are helping you out with your course selection option. Now, the idea is that it makes easier. So coming down to the third part, which is the bachelor's, if you're coming for a bachelor's or a PG certificate, bachelor's is a 3-year study option. It can lead to 3-year post-study work right. Now, again, you had the 6 years. So New Zealand is giving you option to stay there for multiple years. It is not that you have to study and go back. Again, that is your choice. If you want to go back, keep applying. Katal, you want to add any bits and pieces here? I know I've been adding a lot, but okay, over to you.
No, I think you've been adding a lot, and most important thing that you mentioned is the finding the right area for students to choose. and most of the people here joining this seminar, they already have an occupation, they already have a profession. So it's not about what you have to study. There are a lot of options, and choose something that you like to do. And New Zealand really is offering lots of options. And when you want to study in New Zealand, choose a study that you like to, you really will enjoy.
Sure, totally agreed. Going around the care workforce and transport agreement. So, example, somebody is working in a care workforce, which is a healthcare worker. Now, that area is again in the skill shortage or a demand area. If you are, say, nurse, again, there's a conversion option. If you're a healthcare worker, which is in disabilities or mental health and all, you can still come for a 1 year study. And if you get a job in that area, your employer can sponsor you for a 3 to 5 years of work visa, which can lead to your skilled migrant residence pathway again. So you have to work in any career workforce setting for 2 years to apply for your residence option. Now, again, why I'm repeating this, because there are options for 1 year study also. It doesn't mean that 1 year is not available or 1 year options are not there. Depend which area and what you're taking in. Now, as you mentioned, there are options for partners or kids or family to apply for either work visa or visitor visa. So if you're coming for masters, they can apply for work visa. But if you're coming for any other courses which are non green list option or non-registered option, you may end up into visitor visa option. So that's what we always recommend to discuss with us and see and what you're looking into it. Again, for child, you can get options of study while between 5 to 18, which is free. But again, if they're above 18, they can be treated as international student and they can study on that level. So it'll be great to go to Q&A. Again, I have some questions for Katal. And Katal, we can cover some areas and questions what you have, what you've got from your students or your clients currently. So from Tawana, one of the questions is that, is it possible for someone who is civil engineering diploma holder to be considered for a BSc civil engineering? Yes, all the students who are doing a diploma, again, you're welcome to apply because it makes easier in multiple ways. One, you get the ease of visa allotments, which means that immigration see that you are going from your relevant background to the right course. Second, you can apply for exemptions to your bachelor's. It can be exempted by 6 months or 1 year. And the other side is that you actually have a background where you know where and what is happening in the sector. So it makes easier for diploma holders to go into the BSc rather than people coming from non background. It's always a bit of challenge and difference. Anything, Kartal, you want to add on those questions for now?
No, that's great.
Okay, coming down to you, New Zealand University offers scholarship. Yes, New Zealand University is offering scholarship between $5,000 to $15,000. In some cases, it is $20,000. So there are areas which, again, scholarships are open to. PhD, we get question that can we get a PhD scholarship? Now, if a lot of people don't know, PhD, the fees is primarily the same fee as a domestic student in New Zealand. So you are not paying $50,000 or $70,000 or $40,000. You're actually paying between $8,000 to $10,000 per year for a PhD program. Now, this is a New Zealand dollar. It'll be great to check again, Kazal, what's the conversion for the Nigerian student and what's the conversion for the Turkish student from one New Zealand dollar to their local currency?
Majority of them are calculating with the USD. So 8,000 New Zealand dollars is around 5 to 6,000, around 5,000 USD, let's say, close to it.
Oh, great. So that is kind of a cheaper option. Now, any questions, guys, please ask in Q&A. I'll put some questions to Katal, which I know there's always a bit of request, but like we do this webinar regularly, so it'll be easier for you guys to ask. And again, you put the question in the Q&A box. Now, Katal, how is the funds requirement or financial requirement for student going to New Zealand comparatively?
Well, according to Immigration New Zealand, which is one of the most pessimist forecasting, let's say, 1,500 New Zealand dollars per month for the student living cost. But obviously, students can go lower than that or higher than that. But talking to my students, their average expenses per month is around 1,200 New Zealand dollars per month. Obviously, most of them work part-time because they have 20 hours work rights. So when we calculate 80 hours per month and time it by $23 per hour, they've got a serious income as well in comparison to their expenses.
Sure. No, but if I'm a candidate applying from Turkey or Nigeria to New Zealand or even Zimbabwe, so how much funds have to show and what are the financials have to go through with?
They need to show around, say, about 15 to 16,000 dollars in their bank account,
Okay.
which is 1,500 times 12. So, and then on top of that, the school tuition fees must be in the bank account. Now, Immigration New Zealand do not. It's not pushing you to pay your school fees in advance, but in some cases it's good to pay in advance to make the case look stronger. So school funds and then living expenses needs to be in the bank account. If it's a deposit, straight deposit, then a student has to justify where their funds are coming from, because Immigration New Zealand is quite concerned about where the money is coming from. It's not about how much money you have. Even if you have millions of dollars, it's about if it's a consistent income, if the resource is available, if the resource is transparent. New Zealand is one of the most transparent countries in the world, so they expect candidates to be very, very much so as well.
Great. Now, coming around this financial, I believe you're talking about US dollar because it's living expenses at $20,000 per annum. So we talk about 12 to 13,000 US dollar to be shown in the bank account, and the living expense. In the tuition fees. So, Gatal, what will be the range of tuition fees for master's student if they're coming for a 1-year course?
36,000 per year, I should say.
Okay. And again, I believe there are lower options also. There's an institution with $25,000, $28,000. This is New Zealand dollar, guys. So again, the conversion, Ghazal, what will be good for the US conversion side?
Yeah. So we're looking at between 16,000 USD to 22,000 USD. But if they want to study MBA in one of our partners, say AUT or even Auckland University, we're looking at 55,000 New Zealand dollars again, which will be around close to between 30 and 40,000 USD. So it's all about what you want to study and where you want to study. It's important that you book your one-on-one session with us. In these sessions, we answer most of your questions. What we do is we do tailor-made consultation for you. So depending on your case, depending on your family profile or your profile, you tell us about your past and you tell us about what you have been doing. Share your CV with us, and then we do Q&A, but we tailor-make this consultation for you. We tell you the options, and then you choose what you want to study. And again, in terms of funds, what you want to study is very important. If you want to study for English, then that's different case. If you want to study MBA, that's different. If you want to do PhD, that's different. Now we cover all of these. So we do not ignore any student that want to study English or PhD. Like Bharat mentioned just previously, we enrolled one student into PhD in Lincoln University, which is successfully continuing his studies. So it really depends on what you want to study. But book your one-on-one session with us. It's very easy. It's free. And that.
Great. See, again, guys, it's a journey. It's always recommended to plan it accordingly. Now, Gatal, one question comes about the post-study work options or a part-time work option. So, how does New Zealand, or how does your what are the comments on that? So, how many hours student can work part-time? What's the post-study visa, and how much money they can earn? So, if we can talk about that, it would be helpful in this.
During their studies, students are allowed to work 20 hours per week, and on holidays they can work up to 40 hours per week. Once they complete their studies, depending on the study that they taken, for example, in MBA, they take 3 years post-study work visa, which is giving them enough time to earn points and apply for the residency. Most of these courses that we talked about, which are on the green list as well, most of the salaries for these programs are, the income is around starting from 70,000, correct me if I'm wrong, per year. And students are easily earning the money that they invest into their studies, even by working part-time within the 1.5 year or 2 years. So it's a great investment. It's a great win-win opportunity. And New Zealand is allowing students to work part-time, which is incredible. Why do they do this? Why do they do this? Because practical education is very important in New Zealand, and they want you to gain experience during your study. Most of these programs are up to 25 hours per week, and they invite industry partners, they invite employers, they invite people that likely to employ you. And these people, employers, and also companies, when they come to universities or PTs or ITPs, you get to do your network, and you getting job ready. So most of these education providers are competing with each other to become more attractive to students. And also, it's good to remember that all these schools and PTs, ITPs are being monitored by Education New Zealand. NZQA is monitoring them. How do they monitor them? They monitor them based on very, very important factors. For example, employment rate. If schools' employment rate is lower than, say, 85%, they are likely to be on the red list of NZQA, and they may lose their category. So what does it mean? They may lose their business. So they need to be very competitive. They need to be helping their students to get employment. What's more, student success rate is very important. You're not joining a school to fail. You're joining a school to study hard, and you get support from your teachers. Most of these schools got libraries, online libraries. They've got pastoral care, like Bharat mentioned. They've got people there to take care of you. So they are there to help you, and environment is quite important. What else? Also, after you complete your study, you should get a job related to your area of study. Also, school is being rated for that too. So it doesn't mean that you have to be depending on the school, but school does everything possible to help you to achieve your goals. Most of these schools that we work with, most of our partners, they have a job support center in the school that you can go. And also our team is happy to help you as well with your CV writing, for example, what to do in job interviews and etc. So these schools are helping you not only with your studies, but also with your professional career as well.
Great. So again, thank you, Kardar, on that. So guys, just trying to give on average, and on an average, a student can earn between $15,000 to $19,000 while you are studying. And while you are in a post-study work option, which is 3 years, the average salary, which Qatar said, is around 65 to 70,000. It starts from 55 at the bare minimum, and it goes towards what do you call it, 980 to 90,000, depend upon which area you're working in. Now, what we have seen always, there's a good return of investment, which means that a student who are coming for and investing 60 to 70,000 New Zealand dollar or 40,000 USD, they are actually taking home or taking home at least a double of the amount of money. Now, this is the ROI, which we call as why should I come here? What should I spend? How much should I pay? And what goes around? Now, I believe some of the people have just joined, which is again late. But again, what I'll recommend everyone, please put your questions. I didn't mention the email of Kartal to everyone. You can send your CV to him. It'll be easier to connect. He is based out of Istanbul only. It'll be easy time zones for you guys. Rather than sending message to me, I do get message. I still got a message in one of the messenger for RBS that please give details about how to pay $60,000. So, Kartal, do you want to add that how the fees can be paid, and what are the things you've seen in the past of any other issues with the banking side?
In terms of applying for visa, obviously the visa covers the time period that you paid for. Therefore, in your first application, you must pay your fees in advance. But if you're studying 2 years of course, depending on the provider, you can talk to us again. But the fees, what happens is also it's a very safe process. Like Bharat mentioned earlier, there is public trust, which is owned by government. So when you pay your fees, it goes to government account. So school cannot touch your money. Nobody can touch your money. Once you go to your school and start your studies, after 10 working days, if you're happy, and in some cases 2 weeks, if you're happy, then your money goes to the school. So it's a
Great.
very safe process.
Great. No, I think the last part is that how difficult is you getting a job now? Like what Kartal said, we have multiple partnership with recruitment companies in New Zealand. We do support those things to all our students coming through the partnership companies, or again from various areas. So what we do is that we normally again help you with the CV option. We will help you with the sending you uh, to a recruitment company which can help you with the part-time options too. We do have a lot of students in the network which normally help a lot to publish their jobs in the areas. So what I'm saying currently is that yeah, there are multiple options to support you guys. We do support in accommodation, airport pickup. Again, these are services that are chargeable too. So we do want to see that where you want to go in. Now we got a question from is the fee refundable? So again, if you don't get a visa, the fee is fully refundable. If something goes wrong in terms of the institution, your fees is in public trust, so which means that your money will come back to you for the time you have not studied. At the same time, uh, from the visa perspective, if you pay earlier, it gets a lot more options for getting visa. If you pay later, yes, they need to verify every documentation. So, in a nutshell, the fee is refundable. There might be some transfer charges will be deducted, which is $50 to $100, not more than that. What we have seen, but again, we have not seen any money not coming back. Katal, any comments on your side?
Like I said, in terms of money and in terms of transparency, one of the most transparent countries in the world. Therefore, you do not have to worry about it. Once you receive your offer letter, once we receive your offer letter, we share it with you, and the bank details over there, it will also mention public trust. So the payment process is very transparent, it's very open. So when you send the money, it goes to government, and government approves it and tells the school that they received the money, not the school. The school has to wait for it. And once government gives the signal, the public trust the school, then school sends you your fee receipt. Okay.
Great.
And then fee receipt, you show it to immigration, and then your visa has been approved. So there's nothing to worry about. Just to mention also, Bharat and I, we worked in New Zealand education sector for a very long time. And it's not very easy to work with all these universities in New Zealand. Bharat and I, we work with one of the most prestigious universities in the world. If you go onto RBS website, you will see the list of universities that we work with. Again, both of us joined many seminars around the world, market and talked about it. So you can go on the LinkedIn and you can go on the Google, find lots of information, do your research. But again, you're in the good place, you're in the right place. Again, with New Zealand, you do not need to worry about these things.
Agreed. And the last part, I'll say that guys, do discuss. If the more you have questions, we'll be happy to answer. I've seen even Noah saying that can you share the recording of meeting? Yes, Noah, we'll be sharing the recording in any case. What we always suggest, just don't go down and again take a decision which is not right. We do have a good session like this year. Already we have 800 offer letters issued. Last year we processed around 400 study visas from across the globe, not from one country, to be very fair. And at the same time, this year we know that the number of students inquiring about New Zealand have been increased, which is good. We again suggest please reach out and look into the further options. Now, any other question? Otherwise, what we'll do is that we will share the recording. We are available. There is an email ID of Katal is shared with everyone. Anything else, Katal? You want to give your WhatsApp number or contact number? Can you add into the?
Sure. Just want to mention also, everyone, we have social media platforms This meeting will be there on our YouTube page, YouTube channel, which is RBS. You can find out Danışmanım. We put these videos on there. You can see our past videos, previous videos. You will see many university representatives also answering your questions on our YouTube channel, so you can see that. We're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, so you can find lots of information in here. Also, remember to book your one-on-one session. It's free. We can do tailor-made consultancy for yourself and for your family. We can draw a roadmap for you about New Zealand. Just get in touch with us. My number is just shared. It's our business account WhatsApp number. You can contact us anytime you like, and we will be able to reply you. Just also remember, we have high requests right now. The first quarter has been very successful. We received, like Bharat mentioned, we received some offers, and our visa approval rate has been great. Just remember that it doesn't always go like that overall. So right now, Immigration New Zealand has been approving many visas, and it's going good.